If everything in your life suddenly breaks apart, well, that's Uranus. Uranus isn't punishing you, it's waking you up. In evolutionary astrology, Uranus is the archetype of liberation, individuation, and shock-based awakening. It's the voice in your chart that says, you did not come here to fit in, you came here to break free. Uranus does not whisper, it strikes. It's the soul's impulse to shed conditioning, to deconstruct false identities, and to realign with authentic freedom. Now, in his book, Freedom from the Known, Jeffrey Wolf Green teaches that Uranus correlates to the higher mind, the dimension of consciousness that exists beyond the conditioning of ego, family, culture, or just consensus reality. It's the part of the soul that remembers. And it remembers, I am not this programming. I am not this box. When Uranus activates, it does not ask, it shocks. It disrupts anything that is stagnant, that's false, or that's misaligned with your soul's actual truth, your Sat Nam. Sat Nam is truth. Uranus is your chart's deconditioning agent. It reveals how and where the soul must break free from inherited beliefs, karmic identities, and really just systems that limit any kind of evolution. But of course, awakening rarely feels gentle. And Uranus often correlates to sudden ruptures and separations, lifetimes of outsider identity or rebellion, past life trauma around truth, difference, exile, current life shocks that force you to individuate. And this is not dysfunction. It's disruption with evolutionary purpose. Now, how do you read Uranus in your chart? Well, first look where the sign is. The sign is the collective frequency of liberation that you're born into. Then look at the house, the life area where deconditioning is going to occur. Then look at the aspects. This reveals how Uranus links to emotional memory, your moon, soul intent, Pluto, and the karmic axis, your nodes. So let's say that Uranus is with your moon. That's going to be emotional lightning. Uranus on Pluto and their nodes. That's going to be past life trauma around being different, or maybe around being punished for being different. And sometimes that trauma is what keeps you from showing your true self now. Also, according to Freedom from the Known, Uranus symbolizes the higher self, while Mercury represents the lower ego mind. When you receive Uranian insights, these are flashes of truth, sudden knowings, it's the higher self bypassing the ego and speaking directly to the soul. That's why Uranus is so important in astrology. It teaches us to see patterns the ego can't control. But individuation without integration becomes rebellion. Uranus invites us to awaken, but not to isolate, to liberate, but not to detach from the heart. So how do you work with Uranus consciously? Well, track where you feel trapped, because Uranus is knocking. Honor your uniqueness, but don't make it a wall. Use your shocks as turning points, not as wounds. And trust the breakdown, because it's actually when the breakthrough begins. Uranus breaks what was never real, so the soul can become what is. Uranus in your chart is your soul's lightning bolt. It's the electric pulse of divine remembrance, the current that strikes through illusion and says, wake up. Disrupt the distortion, reclaim the original frequency of the soul. Uranus is not about comfort. Uranus is about consciousness. And it's never about fitting in. It's always about remembering your frequency. So I want to know, what is your Uranus placement? And where is your soul ready to break free? Drop it in the comments. Let's talk shocks, soul rebellion, and really radical authenticity. Also, please tag someone who's walking the path of deconditioning. This is not about rebellion. This is about remembrance. Thank you so much for watching. Sat Nam.